A very sad day for many Mayo GA fans, the death of Willie O'Connor at the weekend as well, casting a real pall of gloom among the Mayo GA family. He was never present at Mayo games and would have been here today. May God rest his soul. I have to go to Mike. We go straight to match commentator Mike Finnerty and his commentary team.
Yeah, thanks very much, Liam. You're welcome back. Those of you who have been with us since the very start, hope you're sitting comfortably. Those of you who are joining us for this AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club Football Final, well, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Whether you're a follower of Westport from Mayo or St Colmcille of Meath, today is the day, D-Day. One of these clubs are going to become AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club Football Champions for the very first time. Our referee is Niall Cullen from County Fermanagh. Westport, in their change colours of dark navy jerseys, will play from right to left in the first half, down towards Hill 16. St Colmcille, who have also changed their jerseys for today's final, they'll play predominantly in white with sky blue socks into the Davin end. And I'm delighted to say I'm joined on commentary today by Paul Grady from Westport and Tony Butler from St Colmcille. The ball is in, the game is on, and may the best team win. Now the floodlights have been switched on at Croke Park for the second final, as it's an early touch for the St Colmcille centre back Ian Mullen, wearing some very heavy strapping on his left leg. And that's a foul and a free in. Free for St Colmcille. May well be inside the range of Ben Brennan, their captain. He's certainly shaping up, Tony, as if he's going to take it on.
There'll be no doubt that Brennan's always on the frees from that distance and from that side of the pitch. He puts two lovely frees over, as I was saying to your co-producer there. He put the winning point over from a free in the semi-final against Pomeroy and in the Leinster final against Rosewood. So I've every confidence Ben will slot this over, and it'd be great to get into the lead and calm things down.
He's the St Colmcille's captain, and he scuffed that shot, and despite the best efforts of his comrades in there in the full forward line, it tails away and wide, and that's the first missed opportunity. We'll run through the teams. Westport first. Patrick O'Malley starts in goal. It's a full back line of Niall McManaman, Kevin Kane and Keelan Dever. Brian O'Malley, Brian McDermott the captain, and James Welsh are in the half back line. Lee Keegan wears 8 but will start in defence by the looks of things. He's named alongside Shane Scott. A half forward line of Fionn McDonough, Phil Keegan and Liam Staunton, and a full forward line of Colm Moran, Paul Lambert and Ronan Geraghty. St Colmcille's Jordan Brown in goal, Adam Lynch, Jamie McDonnell and Kieran Ward in the full back line. Owen Woods, Ian Mullen and Joe Sweeney in the half back line. David Sheeran is alongside Robbie McCloskey in midfield. Cathal Hilliard, Ben Brennan and David O'Byrne in the half forward line, and Graham Riley, Niall Ronan and James Conlon in the full forward line. Beautiful day for a game here in Dublin. Conditions perfect, as Westport, who have started 21, that's Oisín McLaughlin in a late change, go on the attack back to Colm Moran, and that's a wide down at the hill end. But by the looks of things, Damien Loftus, the Westport manager, Paul Grady, has sprung a late change to catch St Colmcille's napping and catch us on the hop as well.
Yeah, it looks like interesting. Niall McManaman was picking up Graham Riley. Brian O'Malley has gone to midfield, so Lee Keegan is slots in centre back and Brian McDermott goes to right half back.
And up front, it looks like Ronan Geraghty is the player who has been pulled by Westport. Oisín McLaughlin, who started the semi-final win over Kenmare, starts again. So it's an unchanged Westport team. And as Paul mentioned there, Graham Riley, the danger man in the St. Colum's forward line, is being marked by the man they call glue in the Westport setup, Niall McManaman. He is their out-and-out man marker, and he has spent the season shutting forwards down. How will he fare with Riley? Over on the other side, St. Colmcille's attack broken up by the very distinctive figure of Brian O'Malley, one of 4 leaving certs who start for Westport today. In fact, you can make that 5 with Oisin McLaughlin pitched in at the last minute. McLaughlin unable to make that first delivery stick, cleared away by McCloskey and gathered in by Niall Ronan, the former Irish rugby international. Ball breaks kindly for St. Colmcille's, and they're on the move here. Nice neat layoff to Graham Riley. Well, he spent years doing it for Meath here in big games on big days, and the St. Colmcille's sharpshooter opens the scoring in the 4th minute.
Great score for Graham. Once Graham gets the ball and once he starts running at defenders, he really causes them a great deal of trouble. People from Meath will remember that the last time Dublin were beaten in Leinster was when Graham Riley had a magnificent performance in the 2010 Leinster semi-final. He was the main player for Meath that day, so we're hoping that he produces it again. And here he is in the ball again, Mike.
Yes, St. Colmcille's have started very confidently. This time it's Kevin Kane who's the closest man to Riley, shooting on sight, but the referee is going to bring it back. He was playing the advantage there for an earlier foul, and when Riley's shot dropped wide, Niall Cullen stepped in to intervene, and this will give St. Colmcille's a good opportunity to extend their lead. They come into this game today as rank outsiders, the Meath champions, bidding to go where no Meath club have ever gone before and win an All-Ireland Intermediate Club football title. The same, it must be said, of Westport. 3 Mayo clubs have come here in the past on intermediate final day and been beaten. Davits, Kiltane and Hollymount Carramore all coming up short in recent seasons. So Ben Brennan again sticks to that tried and trusted routine. He's missed one and he's just missed a second.
Well, that'll be disappointing now. That was within Ben's range. Sometimes, in Croke Park, the grass is cut so short, it's hard to get underneath the ball sometimes. So it hasn't gotten hit. But Ben, he had missed ones before and came back strong, and I'm sure he's going to do it again today.
So Lee Keegan posted at centre back, the footballer of the year, marking Ben Brennan. Patrick O'Malley's kick out finds its way to Brian O'Malley. The 2 leaving cert students combine, and it's a long delivery into the Westport forward line. But St. Colmcille's very neat and tidy to get it clear as far as Owen Woods on this right-hand side. Woods continued his run, gets onto the loose ball and takes the free quickly. Keegan and Brennan tangling for the first time. The St. Colmcille's captain comes out on top, and Woods again is the first receiver. Going long towards big Niall Ronan, but Kevin Kane, the man they call the Westport Bull, wins the first delivery and trots back in to pick up Ronan, the 2 biggest, strongest men on the field in opposition back there on the edge of the square. Here's Brian McDermott, the Westport captain, stretching his legs for the first time, heading towards Hill 16. This is a very strong run for McDermott, and he went for goal, and he sends that shot fizzing along the ground and wide. Well, he loves to get forward, and he had one thing in his mind there, Paul Grady.
Yeah, possibly should have laid that ball across the square there. Brian done everything right, but maybe should have laid it across the square there, and maybe it would have been an easier chance for someone else.
Well, a huge crowd have made the trip from Westport, many of them by train this morning, while St. Colmcille's also being supported in big numbers. It's a relatively short journey, of course, from the likes of Laytown and Bettystown, just out the road. And great noise as Shane Scott goes on the attack. Shane Scott, the man who saved the day for Westport in the semi-final with that late penalty, has the honour of kicking their first score at Croke Park. The sides are level after 7.5 minutes. It looks like Shane Scott has come to play.
Yeah, Shane Scott seems to be a man on a mission the last few weeks. He really wants this, and he steps up to play it every time. They need someone out there. Shane responds to the task.
Super mark by Robert McCloskey, the 35-year-old St. Colmcille's midfielder. St. Colmcille's go direct. Kevin Kane is hurt, injured himself as he went high for that ball, and he looks to be in some real trouble. He hasn't got back to his feet, and that's why the referee Niall Cullen has stepped in. It was completely accidental. Kane went full-blooded for the ball, and this will be a major concern for Westport. Man who started the 2012 All-Ireland final for Mayo against Donegal. He is the rock at the heart of their defence, and he doesn't go down easy, Paul, and he looks to be in trouble.
No, that's concerning for Westport now. Kevin is, like you say, is not a man that goes down easily. He looks to be in a bit of discomfort there now. He could be under pressure.
Tony Butler, from a St. Colmcille's perspective, we played 8 minutes, size level. How do you feel about how they've set up, and how do you feel about how they've gone so far?
Well, Colmcille are playing fairly traditionally. They're playing with players. There's no load of players behind the ball. They're playing with the 3 men on the inside forward line. They've played that all year. It's been interesting to note in the run-up to the games, Colmcille's games have always been very high-scoring. The philosophy of the team seems to be, we don't care how many you score, but we're going to score not more. It looks like it's going to be a broad, expansive game because both teams have set up fairly with lots of players in the other half, and it allows the long ball to be played in. That is a concern for that chap, Kevin Keane.
Yeah, he's still down and still receiving attention. Now Westport will give him every chance to recover. Their full back from Fahy. He is so important to the game plan. He is a real team leader. And as we saw in the junior final, Darren O'Sullivan managed to struggle on, but the universal signal is being made towards the Westport dugout that Kevin Keane will not be able to continue. And Paul, this is heartbreaking for Kevin Keane. You know, we all know how much it means to him to play here with Westport today. He's had disappointments in the past here with Mayo in All-Ireland finals, and to be forced off after less than 10 minutes with an injury it's a really cruel blow.
Yeah, it's a huge blow to Kevin, and it's a huge blow to Westport. You saw the way that Kevin laid out the team there before the start. He really was up for this the last few weeks. He's been exceptional for Westport since he came back from the Mayo scene late October. He's really led the way in that camp, and he really was up for this today, and he's a huge loss to Westport. And he really won't go off unless he has to, but it doesn't look good out there, and really the best laid plans, Westport, now we're on the back foot.
Well, I see already Damien Loftus, the manager, and his selectors, Conor Dever, Michael Killeen and Tom Higgins, they've had a conversation, and they've decided David Horan is the man who's going to come in to replace Kevin Keane. David Horan, very experienced defender, won a county championship medal with Westport back in 2009, and a very important squad player in the 2016-2017 season. But Kevin Keane, one of the real warriors in this Westport team. I'm sure his heart must be broken. A man who has come here with Mayo for the All-Ireland finals of 2012, 2013 and again last year, and finished second best, will play no further part in this AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Football Final. And I suppose, to use that time-honoured cliche, Paul Grady, they're going to have to try and win it for him now.
Yeah. Look, I mean, David Horan is coming in now. I would imagine David are going to the half-back line somewhere. It's a full back line now. We're completely rejigged. We've already without Liam Kittrick. Now we're without Kevin Keane. So realistically, now the first choice full back line, that leaves Niall McManamon and two lads slot in, probably Keelan Dever. I'm not sure who the other one will be. We'll have to wait and see.
So the game has restarted. 11.5 minutes on the clock. We will have a fairly hefty chunk of injury time now at the end of the first half. On the ball for Westport, it's the full forward Paul Lambert, one of the leaving certs, shoots on the run high and wide. It remains a point apiece. Well, one of the most fascinating aspects of the build-up has been the debate about the contrast in styles between St. Colmcille's and Westport. As Tony said, St. Colmcille's running up big scores in their games. Westport tend to keep it tight at the back. 10 scores or 11 at most usually gets the job done for them. But today they may need just to be that little bit more adventurous, the Mayo champions, especially if Graham Riley and Ben Brennan and company get firing. But it's been a pretty low scoring start, considering as well the amount of stoppages we've had, as Lee Keegan gets ready to take this free. Back at Croke Park again for the umpteenth time in the last 12 months. Good delivery, finds his man, Colm Moran. Faced out by Jamie McDonnell. Moran pops it into the space in front of Lambert, but St. Colmcille have got a lot of men back, and now they'll try and hit Westport on the break. Ben Brennan, referee playing the advantage as Brennan heads for the Cusack stand side. Gets the boot under it and knocks in a hit and hope in towards the corner forward. Conlon breaks to big Niall Ronan. Now with Kevin Kane gone off injured, Ronan will try to open his shoulders and get more involved. The former Munster rugby player, former Irish international, lays it back to Graham Riley. Meath captain fouled, wants to take the free quickly, but Niall Cullen doesn't let him take it quickly. Riley frustrated, I think, there. He wanted to get the game moving. Niall Cullen, though, has to take care of some paperwork, and he ticks the name, I think, of Paul Lambert. You'd imagine he could have waited, Tony, to take care of that when the move had finished.
Absolutely, because James Conlon at the full forward line had made a magnificent run. He got the ball cleanly into his hands, and it was disappointing. But this is Conlon on the ball now. He's full of twists and turns.
Yeah, he looks very lively. Riley's delivery, Conlon's gone down, but it's a free out for overcarrying. Good work by the Westport defence. They do that so well. They construct a spider's web of sorts when they get a ball carrier in their sights, and they just swallowed up young James Conlon there, the 18-year-old corner forward, and the chance was gone. Here's Brian O'Malley. In fact, it's Brian McDermott, rather, the Westport number 6, galloping down that far side. Across comes Joe Sweeney, and Joe takes man and ball, and it's possession back to Westport.
I was just going to make a point about James Conlon there. James got the award in Meath Awards last a couple of months ago. He got Meath Young Footballer of the Year. The two previous recipients of that award from our club was one Bernard Finn and one Graham Riley. So James Conlon is one to watch, and we have great expectations for him today.
And he's in illustrious company with Messrs Flynn and Riley. Here's the Westport corner forward. Colm Moran shoots, score won't stand. Referee had blown the whistle for a free in. Now I know Westport will get the free, Paul Grady, but Niall Cullen has shown in these first 15 minutes that he's not going to let it flow. He's going to bring it back, and you can see already players starting to get a little frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, there's an advantage rule in place there. It really should be utilised better than that. I mean, that's what it's there for. Colm Moran done all the hard work there, got the score. There's no guarantee you'll get the free. It should be happening. Just as an aside there, an interesting note, I think Brian O'Malley seems to have gone slotted into full back to replace Kevin Kane, and David Horan has gone into wing back. I would say Brian McDermott has gone to midfield.
Well, a lot of reshuffling in the Westport defence as Fionn McDonough lines up this free. He was man of the match in the Mayo final back in October, and he likes the look of that. A little fist pump from McDonough, and over it goes, and Westport are back in front after 16 minutes of the AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club Football Final. Don't forget, wherever you're watching the game today, you can get in touch with us via social media, at Local Streaming on Twitter. Use the hashtag #TheToughest, and you can also find us on Facebook. First 16 minutes have come and gone, and it's advantage Westport, the pre-match favourites. Colmcille, though, try to construct an attack down this right-hand side. Owen Woods covering across is David Horan, the substitute, filling the gap there in front of his full back line, and it's worked out as far as Liam Staunton. Now Lee Keegan charging out of the back line. The next link in the line is James Welch, but he's been robbed by Niall Ronan, and away goes Graham Riley. Westport defence caught out of position. Riley twists, turns, shoots, trying to cut the cloth to the measure, and just left it short. Really should have scored.
Absolutely, he left that short. I thought he had plenty of time, and he just dropped it under the crossbar, dropped it short. Disappointed with that one. That's one that got away. Hope we don't pay for the price for that later on. It's a low scoring game, and every score is going to be so critical.
Shane Scott, good delivery towards Oisin McLaughlin. Ball just doesn't stick initially. McLaughlin, a Mayo minor footballer last year, goes back for a second bite, and for some reason there Adam Lynch left the knees in. I think he's protesting his innocence. The linesman happy enough to wave him away. Well, it's a Westport ball. Adam Lynch, who describes himself in his player profile as a rapper, a student and a baller, And I think he's not going to back away from too much either, Tony, by the looks of things.
No, I earlier on in the commentary you referred to one of the Westport players as being the guy who'll stick to somebody. Well, that's Adam Lynch. One of the local schools produced a video where kids were pretending to be players on the Colmcille's team, and what they had was a young kid following another player all around the school. It was good fun. But Adam is cheek tough, and he will follow a guy all over the park, no problem. Great, very fit young man.
And he's just been booked as well there. The linesman did report him for that late tackle and unnecessary intervention, shall we say, with Oisin McLaughlin. He's in the book. Here's Keegan, as usual in the thick of things. His brother Phil was the first man on the scene. Ball recycled back to McManaman, and here's Lee Keegan again. There's a real buzz now among the Westport crowd as the team press forward. Lambert gives it to McManaman. Now James Welch. St. Colmcille have organised their defence. They've got a dozen players between the ball and their own goal, and they're challenging Westport to break them down. 19 minutes gone. It's been a low scoring start. Westport lead by 1. Brian McDermott trying to break the line, but he brought the ball into the tackle. Paul Lambert, he's a real ball of fire. Makes a nuisance of himself, wins the ball back, wins the free for Westport. And that's what the likes of Lambert does so well. Get in on the breaks and take the game to the opposition.
Yeah, he's a great bit of stuff. He's a very low centre of gravity. He gets in amongst the breaking ball there, and he's very hard to dispossess. Done very well there to win the free. Westport on top at the moment, but looking to drive it home.
And it's Fionn McDonough again who steps up. Got a game with Mayo back in January in the FBD Connacht League, looking for his second point, his second free, and his eye is in. And Westport pushed the lead out to 3-1. And I know there are a lot of people watching this game on local streaming this Sunday afternoon all around the world. And down in Westport, I know we're being beamed into everywhere from the Towers to Toby's to the Castle Court. And I know in the Towers there's an after wedding party. Jerry McLaughlin and his new bride Bridget are watching on. Bridget's brother Liam is out there in the thick of it with Westport as Colm Moran shoots for a score just wide. Well, St. Colmcille have found themselves pinned back in now in the last few minutes. Tony, Westport applying the full court press.
Absolutely, it's things are beginning. You just get a little bit worrying here because I just say Westport are playing with that a degree more enthusiasm, a degree more urgency, winning a bit more of the breaking ball. So we need we're taking Niall Ronan out from full forward. He's had to win a couple of good balls in there and put it straight in. Will Ben win? No.
Great take by Brian O'Malley, another of the leaving certs, another of the Mayo minors of last year. Very good in the air. Here's Keegan to Shane Scott, and ambling up from the half back line again comes Brian McDermott. St. Colmcille starting to fall back a little as Paul Lambert delivers a diagonal ball, just one man to aim at. It's his colleague from Rice College, Colm Moran. Lovely pick up, not a bad sidestep either. He's gone for it. Oh, what a score from Colm Moran. He's just 18 years of age. He's still in school, but he taught the Colmcille's backline a thing or two there. Westport lead 4-1.
Yeah, even if this game goes on to the 72 or 73 minutes the last game went on to, you won't see a better score than that. Excellent from Colm on his left foot. Had an awful lot to do there, and he made little of it.
Was there a case there for travelling? Not being belittling. There was a fantastic skill set there, dummies and shifting, and just thought he might have travelled a little bit there, but we'll give him this great point. It was a great score.
I think Niall Cullen alright may have given Colm Moran the benefit of the doubt as he rode the tackles, and Colm Moran with his first leaves Westport sitting on a 3-point cushion. 22 minutes gone, but a good solid 4 or 5 of those 22 minutes went by as Kevin Kane was receiving attention. So this first half is going to run on a little. Here's Liam Staunton, man who left that wedding before the speeches last night. He had his mind on the job at hand, battling away there, trying to make some hard yards. Stopped though by Joe Sweeney and company. St. Colmcille's finding it very hard to break out, finding it very hard to release early ball to the full forward line, to anybody in the forward line. And I suppose an example of that, they've had to go backwards to go forwards, and that's loose from Niall Ronan. Too loose. Colm Moran, he's on fire. 2 in a row for Moran. 2 in a row for Westport. The lead is out to 5-1 now. And you can see why he was a county minor last year, but that was very, very careless from big Niall Ronan.
Absolutely. The 4 Colmcille players to 1 there, and as if he says split the difference between the 2 Kills players. He'll not be pleased with that. Dave Sheeran's won some good ball there. Unfortunately, he's dropped it.
Yes, Colmcille just look a little nervous early on. Nerves should not be an issue, of course, for Niall Ronan. Made over 100 appearances for Munster before he retired from professional rugby. Has also played for Ireland. Here's Shane Scott. He couldn't, could he? Scott from 50 yards. Chalk it down. Shane Scott with an inspirational score. His 2nd of the game. Well, we wondered if the mantle of favourites would weigh heavily on Westport. It doesn't seem to have bothered them a bit. They're 5 in front.
Yeah, interesting to see Graham Riley there came very short for the kick out. He was inside his own 50, sign of the pressure that Colmcille are under. We're really pushing up in their kickouts now, and we're dominating. And
here they are again. Oisin McLaughlin first to the break. St. Colmcille just look stuck to the ground. Phil Keegan recycled back to Moran. Well, they're shooting from everywhere and anywhere. They're attacking in waves, our Westport, and that's 3 points from play from Colm Moran. He's turning Jamie McDonnell inside out, and St. Colmcille have been outscored now by 6 points to no score in the last 15 minutes or so. And it has been some first 25 minutes from Westport, and they're not finished yet. James Welch just wanted that more. He's driving through. Nobody at home. They're queuing up inside. Fionn McDonough sneaks a look, and Fionn McDonough slots it over. That's 3 points for him and 3 for Moran. They are teasing and tormenting the St. Colmcille's backline.
Yeah, it's looking good for Westport at the moment. In fairness, we've got all the way to an All-Ireland final this year, and we've been probably not clinical enough in front of the post. But today, the biggest day of all, they're going over the bar, and that's exactly what we look for all week.
Well, I was just about to say there have been games this season during this run for Westport when they've barely scored 8 points in an hour, and they've got 8 here after 25 minutes. And Tony Butler, when you consider we've only been playing for about 20 of those minutes, St. Colmcille must be very worried.
Well, absolutely. Very disappointing. I mean, the last time there, 2 of our players clashed. Niall and Joe went up for the ball and they bashed off each other, and they got the spilled ball, and that was 2 of our players out of the game. And just before that, we gave the ball very, very loosely. All I'll just say is that this team have been behind in every single game in the championship they played this year. And I mean, well, maybe not the first in every championship in the Leinster and in the All-Ireland semi-final, they were behind by a considerable amount at some stage, and they always managed to claim their way back. But they'd want to get on the scoreboard very quickly. They'd want to win this ball, and they'd want to hold on to it.
Well, they wouldn't be a Meath team if they're not able to claw their way back from seemingly impossible situations. How many times over the years have we seen teams in the Royal County, just when we were starting to write them off, come back from the dead? Now today it's going to be St. Colmcille's turn, but that's rash from Ben Brennan. The team captain just rushed that shot, didn't settle at all, and that looked like the kick of a frustrated man.
He didn't catch it cleanly. Often we put Niall Ronan in on the square and we look for a breaking ball. So at this stage they probably said we need a goal. They put Niall in the full forward, who has been playing a lot out the field, but Ben didn't connect it cleanly. So there we go.
Yeah, Niall Ronan is in now, all right, in the full forward line again. He's being marked by Brian O'Malley. In case you've joined us late, Kevin Kane, the Westport fullback, off injured after only a couple of minutes, as the ball is spilled by Westport and Colmcille try and break. Here's Graham Riley, their county man, their main man, and he can move. Look at him go. Still Riley, options left and right, slips it to Conlon. Game on. James Conlon with a terrific goal for St. Colmcille, and the Meath champions are right back in the match. Finished by Conlon, made by Riley.
Absolutely fantastic run, and that has been working so often during the course of the year. The support here for that goal was absolutely incredible. And Graham, if he gets the ball and runs at them, he's going to cause damage. We need to get the ball into his hand more often. We need to get him running at defenders. We need to win the ball in midfield. We need to lay it off quickly. We're allowing Westport to get in behind the ball too often. We need to up our game more consistently.
Well, it's the first goal Westport have conceded for hours in this championship. First goal they've conceded since the Connacht Club Championship campaign. But when Graham Riley pinned his ears back there, nobody could stay with him. And Conlon, the young corner forward, the 18-year-old for St. Colmcille, gave Patrick O'Malley no chance. We've got 2 minutes of normal time left, plus that additional time in this first half. And now this game has come to life. Man on the ball for Colmcille is Cathal Hilliard. Recycled back to the goal scorer. Conlon swings it in, back off the post. And the right man in the right place for Westport is James Welch to get it away. Westport's 7-point lead has been cut to 4 as Liam Staunton goes long. Oisin McLaughlin does really well, spins out of the tackle and away he goes. McLaughlin, he's got pace to burn, still going. McLaughlin shoots. Oh, what a goal! That's absolutely brilliant. Another of the leaving certs, another of the teenagers. He makes it look easy. Terrific run, fantastic finish. What a game.
That's what Oisin McLaughlin offers you. Real pace. You can't coach that. Once he got that ball in his possession, he just burned him.
And Shane Scott catches the kick out and claims a mark. You couldn't make it up. Scott goes long. Moran beaten to the punch by Jamie McDonnell. But Paul Lambert, another of the teenagers, they're so quick and mobile. Again, he gets there first. Sitting in the pocket, it's Moran, and he acknowledges it. He knew, Colm Moran, that was up and over. 4 points, all from play. He's filling his boots in the first half an hour. Westport's lead is out to 8 points again. And just when we thought St. Colmcille had stopped the rot, Tony Butler, they're hit with a double whammy.
Absolutely. Just when we thought we'd psychological benefit to us there, getting the goal and psychological momentum. And then that young lad goes and scores a fantastic goal. He stuck it right down the corner, hit the post. It was an excellent finish. And credit to him. That's very disappointing now. But we came back once before. We cut the lead, so we're going to do it again.
Jordan Brown scuffs the kick out, but all's well that ends well for Colmcille. Here's Graham Riley. Gives it and goes and takes the return. Riley, he has one thing in his mind. He's heading as quickly as he can for that Westport crossbar. Riley drops it in. Out comes O'Malley. It could go anywhere. Drops to Conlon. He's 5'5" and he's ducking and weaving. And somehow he's got the ball ripped out of his arms by Liam Staunton. Well, I wasn't aware you could do that, but Niall Cullen, I think, didn't see it. He just had the ball ripped from his grasp, and he's still down, James Conlon, down in the Westport square. We're into the first minute of injury time. We've just been told we'd have at least 6, so 5 to go. Westport leading 1-9 to 1-1. Here's the goal scorer, Oisin McLaughlin. Man inside making his break is McDonough. No, it was Phil Keegan. Jordan Brown, the goalkeeper, came and he takes out the man and the ball. Phil Keegan there cleaned out and he looks to be hurt back in the St. Colmcille square. James Conlon has picked himself up at the other end. Men dropping like flies in this AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club final. It's tough stuff. They are tearing into one another. And it's free to Colmcille.
I just see the change there. Graham Riley was coming into the game having a big influence, and I see that the Westport people have just put Lee Keegan on him. You know, I say they're probably saying, right, what we have, we hold here. They've no long way to go, but Lee Keegan on Graham Riley. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, good spot, Damien Loftus. The Westport manager has made that move. The footballer of the year, Keegan, picking up Meath's captain, Graham Riley. Conlon beaten by the hop, as Keelan Dever pops it to the runner, Brian O'Malley. 2 hops from O'Malley, and the referee, I think, for a moment there, had to have a think. Spots it, gives it free to Colmcille. Riley releases Cathal Hilliard. Hilliard takes a look, steadies down, and sweeps it over the bar. Superb score from Cathal Hilliard. First of the day, man who's worn the green and gold of Meath at all levels over the years. He's in his mid-20s and he's pulled it back to a 7-point game. Much, much better from the Meath and Leinster champions.
Well, every score gives a player confidence and gives a team confidence, so hopefully now we'll see more players coming into the game.
Patrick O'Malley, former Mayo minor goalkeeper, that was back in 2015, goes long with the kick out, won by McCloskey, but he delivered it too quick and too early for James Conlon's liking, and despite his blinding pace, the corner forward unable to get there, and the ball wins the race. We're into the 4th minute now of stoppage time. We were told we'd have at least 6. It's been an action-packed first half. James Welsh, Paul Lambert makes his move. Now Lee Keegan. Westport content to bide their time. Keegan gets his head up, spots the run inside of Colm Moran, who's had Adam Lynch switched on to him, but Lynch is beaten by the hop, and Moran, there's no stopping him, into Lambert. Referee has brought it back for a free out. He felt Moran was tugging the defender.
I think he could pass the ball from one hand to the other.
Did he change hands? That's what Niall Cullen, I think, was trying to demonstrate. He was moving his hands furiously there, the referee. Free to Colmcille in any event, and it works out in the end for Ben Brennan. Niall Ronan tried to get there in front of Brian O'Malley, but O'Malley just got a hand in to spoil it for him. And Westport will try and work their way through the lines. Lee Keegan, 27 years of age, the oldest man on the Westport team, to Shane Scott. Roll towards Oisin McLaughlin. Westport playing the game at their own pace. Liam Staunton, that's a poor ball. He just seemed to get caught in 2 or 3 minds there, Liam Staunton, on a different wavelength to the other forwards, as we tick into the 6th minute of stoppage time. So roughly 60 seconds, give or take, and then it will be at the discretion of Niall Cullen. Here's the Colmcille's midfielder David Sheeran. Day job is Agartha. Ball popped out to Owen Woods. Westport erecting the barricades as Woods delivers. One man inside, it's Conlon. Lovely flick back towards Riley. Outnumbered 4-1, and there was a hand where there shouldn't have been a hand. Graham Riley fouled. Well, Westport get the bodies back so quickly around the ball carrier. Those passes have to be precise and perfect, but Riley used all his experience there, and he gets what he came for.
Absolutely, yeah. You're quite right, Mike. The way I see it is that the Colmcille's build up, sometimes if you play across the pitch, it is allowing Westport to reset, and when they reset, it's just hard to break through, and we have to get early ball, nice crisp passing into the full forward line, and they have to be out in front with more urgency than we've seen so far, but the ball into it has to be better.
Well, the referee Niall Cullen blows for half-time. That point from Graham Riley means that St. Colmcille's have narrowed the margin back to 6 points at the break. It's been a fascinating first half in the AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club football final, but it's advantage Westport. The Mayo and Connacht champions lead the Meath and Leinster representatives by 1-9 to a goal and 3. St. Colmcille's of Meath and Westport of Mayo not wasting any time in the dressing room at the break, both out and being very punctual ahead of the start of this second half. No changes as far as we can see on either side. The only thing we have spotted is that Lee Keegan has gone back into the full back line to shadow Graham Riley. He was switched on to Riley midway through that first half when Riley started to get a run on his first marker, and it looks like the footballer of the year is going to spend at least the early stages of this second half close to his own goal. So the referee Niall Cullen gets this second half underway. It's Colmcille's playing in the white shirts from right to left in the second half, down towards an empty Hill 16, and they're on the attack straight away. Big Niall Ronan is in under this, and he flicks it down, and it's popped up and over by Ben Brennan. Well, the Colmcille's captain has been waiting impatiently to get that first score of the day. He's had a few near misses and a few bad misses, and I'm sure, Tony, he's a relieved man to see that ball finally go over the bar for him.
Well, absolutely. Ben is one of these players, the heart and soul of the club, and he'll always compete, always great concentration. Now, hopefully, we can kick on from here now and not let them get a score. We need to keep the pressure on for every minute of the game.
Here's Fionn McDonough, breaks one tackle and a second, makes an angle. He was looking for his 4th point of the final. Sees this one though flash wide of the goal. First chance of this second half for Westport, and we've just spotted Damien Loftus has made a change at the break. Ronan Geraghty, who was named in the programme to start, he's one of 4 sets of brothers in the Westport squad. He's in, and it is Liam Staunton who has been replaced. So a change in the forward line. Here's Oisin McLaughlin, the man who's lit up Croke Park in the first half. Well, one of many. Here's Lambert, his colleague at school in Rice College. And they haven't combined for a score. Well, that was very, very close. From our angle here, initially it looked over. Now remember, the umpires do have the benefit of Hawkeye if they feel they need it. But I think one umpire looked at the other there and they were happy enough. They were in agreement. That shot flashed just wide of the post. It remains a 5-point lead for Westport. We just confirmed as well at half time, by the way, that goal scored by James Conlon in the first half brought to an end a run of 5 games in the championship that Westport had played without conceding a goal. Patrick O'Malley beaten for a rare occasion as Colm Moran shoots another wide for Westport. Well, they could and probably should be further ahead now, Paul. That's 2 misses at the start of this second half.
Yeah, 2 early misses from Westport. Hopefully that's not a trend for the second half. Just looking out there on positional changes, David Horden is in the middle of the field with Shane Scott. Lee Keegan has obviously gone into full back line to pick up Graham Riley, and obviously Ronan Geraghty then is in for Liam Staunton. So that's the way we're set up for the second half.
Another mark there taken by Ahagaur's finest, Shane Scott. Huge man, the Westport midfielder. Showed nerves of steel to convert that penalty in the 58th minute of the semi-final win over Kenmare. A kick that ultimately forced the game to extra time. And he certainly is paying his way in the middle of the field so far as Graham Riley gets away from Lee Keegan. Makes some time and some space, and that is a fantastic score from Graham Riley. Well, there's no doubt the hardest part is losing Keegan. Once Riley does that, he's away in a hack, and that was a super score.
Absolutely magnificent score. I don't know where Lee Keegan went to sleep, but the tail of the second half so far, 2 Colmcille scores from 2 shots, 3 wides for Westport, down to a 4-point game. It's getting interesting.
Well, there's no doubt that right now out there, Keegan and Riley are the 2 heavy hitters. They're the 2 potential game breakers. Colmcille's back to within 4. Hilliard. Here's Robert McCloskey. The playmaker is Ben Brennan. He was trying to thread the eye of a needle, but dropping back into the gap for Westport was Ronan Geraghty. Good interception. Now this is where Westport are at their best, breaking at pace. Phil Keegan, man who plays quite a bit of soccer with Westport United. McLaughlin takes the hit from the wing back Joe Sweeney, and McLaughlin up and good to go again. Slips through a gap that wasn't really there, McLaughlin. Ball recycled to Geraghty, sneaks a look. The sub shoots high and away to the left and wide. Confirmation as well, we've just been told the attendance for this AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club football final at Croke Park, 9,075. Big crowd for the intermediate showpiece. And down underneath us in the Hogan stand, supporters of Westport and Colmcille in full voice. It's the biggest day in these players' lives, in their club's existence. And it is a winner takes all affair. That's a loose ball. Sheeran left it short, and back there to cover goes Kieran Ward. Well, Niall Cullen eventually steps in, and he's awarded a hot ball just inside the Colmcille's 45-metre line. I think he felt it was 6-1, half dozen the other, and the 2 big men are going to shape up for it. It's St. Colmcille's David Sheeran, the 6'3" midfielder, and the 6 something Shane Scott. Well, however he managed it, Scott comes away with the ball, and equally as baffling is how he won that free, because it looked initially like he was going to lose the hot ball. Never mind earn Westport a shot at goal, but it's all worked out in the end. And Shane Scott, Paul Grady, is not going to die wondering. He has thrown himself into this final.
No, you have to admire Shane in the last few weeks, in the last few months. He really has blossomed in the Westport midfield, and he is certainly not going to go home without a fight.
Colm Moran with the free, got underneath it, and it drops away to the left and wide. Well, as we mentioned earlier, a huge audience watching this game on the AIB YouTube channel all around the world this Sunday afternoon. James O'Connell has been in contact from Denver, Colorado, where he tells us it's a bluebird day. Beautiful day out there, beautiful day back here, and I know we're coming through loud and clear in Inches Bar on Main Street in Ballinrobe. Vinny and his gang, his entourage, watching this AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club football final. And I know back in Bettystown and Laytown and the surrounding areas, they are glued to it as well. Graham Riley dodges the tackles, kicked that ball though right down the throat of Brian O'Malley. Westport's defence is so well organised. They really have it off to a fine art. They have been suffocating teams all through this championship run, from early last May right to this afternoon. Brian O'Malley leaves it across for Brian McDermott. He, of course, if Westport go on to win this, will be the man that lifts the trophy. Still a long way to go though. We're just 7.5 minutes into the second half. Here's Lee Keegan. Thought about trying to take his man on the outside, instead keeps it simple and lays it back to Paul Lambert. Colmcille have set their defence. Shane Scott decides he's going to shoot over the blanket. What a finish from Shane Scott. Another one right out of the top drawer from the Westport number 9. 3 from play and counting. He's having the game of his life on the biggest stage of them all. Westport lead by 5 again.
Yeah, you're looking for leaders out there, and Shane Scott is absolutely standing up to it. Here he goes again for another kick out.
Well, he's stuck in everything, Shane Scott. And Colmcille are struggling to get to grips with them. Won their first Meath Intermediate Championship for 28 years back in 2016. And trying to break new ground here at Croke Park. But now they have some catching up to do. They've fallen 5 behind. Ben Brennan it was who was caught up there in that Westport cover, and somebody brought his run to an end illegally. I think it's Phil Keegan, and perhaps with a little bit of help from Niall McManaman. And the end result is a shot at goal for Ben Brennan. Well, he delivered big time, as Tony said earlier, in that All-Ireland semi-final win over Pomeroy Plunkets of Tyrone. Stepped up to land the decisive score. He's also a man with inter-county experience, and this should be well within his range.
Yeah, Ben has played in the O'Byrne Cup for Meath just in the January, February there, and he played in Meath Juniors last year. Yeah, we need this one, Ben. Come on, over the bar, Ben.
Ben Brennan steadies, shoots, and Patrick O'Malley, the tall Westport goalkeeper, was stretching every muscle there. Ben Brennan just didn't get enough on it, didn't get underneath it, and Patrick O'Malley denies Colmcille a score. Their manager, by the way, Colm Nally, is getting ready to make a double substitution. Jack Reynolds and Conor O'Byrne will be in any moment as Phil Keegan goes driving hard at the Colmcille's goal. He's been fouled by Robert McCloskey. Well, there's so much pace in this Westport team, so much running power. Phil Keegan, who works as a personal trainer, he could do that all day long, Paul O'Grady. He just runs and runs and runs.
He's made of the same stuff as Lee, obviously, a pure athlete, tough as they come. He'll go all day for you. Fantastic ball there from Lee. They put him clear, and they had no choice. They had to take him down. He was going through.
Well, the O'Byrne brothers pass one another like ships in the night there. It's Connor who's come in to replace David, and Jack Reynolds is on for Joe Sweeney. Colmcille feels it's time to roll that dice, make some changes. We're 11 minutes into the second half. Westport leading by 5. As up to the plate steps Fionn McDonough. Hit 3 points down at the other end in the first half. And he has shanked that kick away to the right. The Westport wides tally starting to mount up in this second half. They're keeping Colmcille's at arm's length, but it should be more comfortable.
It should, absolutely. We seem to be rushing our shots a bit in the second half. I think we need a little bit more composure. We're possibly showing a little bit of our inexperience, our youthful exuberance in there. A little bit more patience in front of the posts to make the possession dominance count.
Well, it's a real battleground in that middle third of the field. So many big men. It's like the land of the giants, but this time Colmcille's come away with the ball. Keegan's all over Riley, and if that was seen as a deliberate pull down, well, it will be history repeating itself for Lee Keegan. It looks like it will be a black, to be honest. Graham Riley taken down by Keegan. How did the referee see it? Well, it's very black and white. If it was seen as a deliberate pull down, Keegan's day is done. But judging by Niall Cullen's body language, there's no card coming, and Lee Keegan's a very, very lucky man.
I think honestly, despite my Westport bias, I think that would have been harsh. I think Lee put his hand in there. Graham made absolutely the most of it. He's an experienced inter-county footballer as well. He knew what was happening, so did Lee. It could have gone either way, but I think...
Riley shot! Goal! A goal for St. Colmcille's and a goal for Ben Brennan. The captain plays the captain's part. The debate about Keegan's tackle, foul, should he have been booked or black carded or not, will go on. But the goal counts. No arguments, no debate about that. And St. Colmcille's of Meath are right back in this game. Now the ball back in Westport's court. McDermott running down the barrel of the gun. Breaks to Phil Keegan. He's surrounded. Gets the shot in. It's a big moment. Westport need it, and Phil Keegan delivers. This has been some game. It has ebbed and flowed one way and then the other. And just like they did in the first half, when St. Colmcille struck for a goal, Westport come right back down the field and pick off a point. This time it's Phil Keegan, the lesser known of the Keegan brothers. But how did he manage to find the time and the space and dig that out?
Great reaction from Colmcille's goal. As you say, similar to the first half, straight down the field, got a score, very important. Keep that gap. We're still 3 points ahead, but we should be a little bit more, but we need to keep that cushion because they are dangerous, certainly.
Well, we were all still thinking about and debating that Lee Keegan tackle. It had echoes of the All-Ireland final all over again. Lee Keegan and Jeremy Connolly that day, Lee Keegan and Graham Riley today. But Colmcille's got on with it, and Ben Brennan with a fabulous finish, Tony. Let's discuss that for just a moment. It was some goal.
Absolutely, Ben. Top corner, keeper no chance. Just going back to the Lee Keegan thing, I thought it was exactly the same part as the position in the pitch where he got the black card last year with Connolly. To my mind, it was a no-brainer. It was hand over the shoulder. It was straight down. But however, listen, it's still in the cracking game here. Kieran Kelly's on the pitch, Jack Reynolds on the pitch, Conor O'Byrne's on the pitch. These guys are well capable of scoring.
We've got 15 and a half minutes of normal time left as Ronan Geraghty tries to go through, and he's been pulled down, and that's a free in. It was Colin Moran, in fact, who was in on the end of that move. There is a swarm of Westport forwards who are more than capable of getting on ball and taking on their men and going by them, and nobody knew that more than the Colmcille's backline there. Jamie McDonald, I think, felt he had no option but to bring down Moran rather than let him in on goal.
I thought it was closer.
And now the Westport forward, he's going back a little. I think he's decided to give himself a better angle. He's trotted back out along that 13-metre line. This to restore Westport's 4-point lead, and he's missed it. Well, that's an incredible miss by young Colin Moran on his own side. He was scoring at his leisure in the first half, but he's shooting a little awry in the second. And the big worry for such a young man, I suppose, Paul, is that misses like that would start to get to him.
Yeah, you would hope it wouldn't be the case. I mean, Cullen is having a fantastic game out there. He's some great scores from play. But the reality is Cullen would probably be our third choice free taker from that side. Lewis Coley obviously out injured long term. Liam Stanton is gone, so Cullen stepped up to it, and you can't argue.
Here he is trying to make amends. Shot blocked down by a couple of Colmcille's defenders. One of them back there was the big number 8, David Sheeran. He is a man mountain. And Colmcille's apply the pressure, and they get their free. Westport unable to find a way through. This game's still in the mix. 3 between the teams. If it was to finish level, we would have extra time. That's a very poor free from Graham Riley, who's actually gone down after kicking it. I think he may have injured himself in the process of kicking that free, Graham Riley. Certainly looks to be the worse for wear. Game continues in the background. Shane Scott still going strong. He's got some engine. Shot blocked away for a 45. Well, Scott has been taking the game to St. Colmcille's since this game began at 5 minutes to 4. I see St. Colmcille's are getting ready to bring Niall Ronan back in. He's sporting a Willie Joe Patton style 1989 Viking headband. Looks to have picked up a head injury of some sort during the third quarter, and he's had to be patched up. But I would imagine, as a former Munster rugby player, a former Ireland rugby international, Niall Ronan is as tough as they come, Tony.
Absolutely. Niall was a Meath minor in his day, and he had a very, very successful career as a footballer. Went down to Leinster initially and then down to Munster. Came back, and the first thing he had to do was lose about 2.5 stone when he came back. Niall carries a knee injury, and he had to work very, very hard to get fit. Many times people would see that Niall would have been doing exercises with a stretch band, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, walking up and down the pitch with this. And it was a great thing for all the young people to see, acting as a source of inspiration to them, and he's a real leader in that dressing room. Now he came off to get patched up, and Kieran Kelly's in, and I just don't know what the plan is here.
Yeah, they're still waiting to bring Niall Ronan back in. He's only 34 years of age, as Tony alluded to there. He's packed a fair bit into his sporting career already. As we watch Patrick O'Malley step up to the 45. Now, he had to wait a long, long time over that kick because Graham Riley was being treated, but he's held his nerve. A young man who's sitting his leaving cert later this year at Rice College in Westport. Came up and missed a few long-range frees in the semi-final. Pots this one, though. And now Westport lead by 4. Shane Scott, first to react to the break. Takes a touch. Shoots, bounces awkwardly. Taken in, though, by Jordan Brown and fired away and picked up by the substitute on this near side, Conor O'Byrne. Man who wanted it was Sheeran, and now Riley. Keegan bursting a gut to try and get back. Riley hits the deck. Riley wins the free. Keegan cannot believe it. He is pleading with the referee that he was an innocent man. The free's been given. And there's a card coming this time, all right, for Lee Keegan. But his battle with Riley is really starting to heat up now in this second half. Yellow for Keegan, a free for Colmcille's, and now, Paul Grady, Lee is walking that very, very fine line.
Yeah, I think yellow is par for the course for Key. I think it's one of his favourite colours, to be honest. I think he'll manage it for the rest of the game. He normally does, but he really has his hands full with Graham Riley out there. Graham has a turn of pace that I actually didn't think he had. He is very fast.
Yeah, very, very quick off the mark. The free from Kieran Kelly, who has taken over from Ben Brennan, and he slots it. Niamh Colmcille 2-6, Cahernamarth 1-12. That's what the giant scoreboard away to our left tells us. It is a 3-point game, and it is the Mayo and Connacht champions Westport who lead St. Colmcille's of Meath and Leinster with 10 minutes to go.
Get away from him.
Colmcille's have the ball. Well, the free didn't travel the necessary 13 metres. They were too close together, the two players there. That was a schoolboy error really, and they've paid the price. They've turned over the ball.
Oh no, you could see it. You could see that happening beforehand. You know, a little thing like that, big turnover. We scored the last point. We could squeeze them, and we give it back to them. Silly.
The free taken by James Welch. Colm Moran, hands of glue, spins and goes. Moran one-on-one with the defender. Panic in the defence. Goal! Oisin McLaughlin, his second goal. Well, he has been the boy wonder in the Westport forward line today. He still has so much to learn, but he is a deadly finisher. And later in the week, Colm Moran and Oisin McLaughlin will be in class together, hitting the books. But here in Croke Park, they have formed a dynamic duo. Moran teasing and tormenting on one side, McLaughlin on the other. He has had 2 goal chances, he's taken both of them, and now Westport lead by 6 points with less than 9 minutes to go. Oisin McLaughlin has really turned it on, Paul.
Yeah, right place, right time from Oisin there. But that goal was all about Colm Moran. He had no right to win that ball. 2 Meath men surrounding him, won the ball, took them on, burned the 2 of them, and he just left Oisin McLaughlin with a simple tap in.
Shane Scott continuing to give an exhibition of mark taking, but the delivery didn't find its man, and now Ben Brennan to take it on for Colmcille. Ran into 3 Westport defenders. Referee felt they should have taken a step back, or certainly shouldn't have charged at him the way they did. It looked like Ben Brennan had given up the ghost there and just ran straight into the blue wall, but he gets his free. 8 minutes to go now, time running out for Colmcille.
Absolutely, I see a change being made here in Colmcille. Again, when there was a clash between 2 Colmcille players and the man from Westport. He got away, but we have an injured player down there, and I think Jeff Kavanagh is coming on.
Another change by Colmcille, the quick free. Man on the ball is Kieran Kelly. Decoy runs being made left and right. Riley gets room to swing the boot, and Riley drives it high and wide. Well, he'd lost his shadow, Lee Keegan, for a moment. He had to take a very quick look at the goal and let fly. 7 minutes to go, still 6 between them. Are Westport about to go where Davits, Kiltane and Hollymount Carramore were unable to go in recent years and win the AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club title? It is their game to lose at this stage. Ben Brennan goes in hard. He's got Glue McManaman for company, gives it to Sheeran. Inside towards McCloskey, and Patrick O'Malley comes, lets the ball run. McCloskey's gone down. Everybody's looking to the referee, Niall Cullen, and the referee is looking at everybody, and he's backpedaling away. He feels nothing to see, nothing to report. It's a kick out to Westport. Hearts in mouths, Paul Grady, as Patrick O'Malley essentially tried to do a Bruce Groveler on it and step over the ball and let it run out, and it nearly went horribly wrong.
I think Tom Higgins played an absolute blinder there. I think he was blind in the umpire's view of that.
Well, the referee, by the looks of things, has been contacted by one of his fellow match officials. Maybe an umpire down behind that goal. He's certainly heading to his earpiece. Oh, he's given a penalty. Oh, that's incredible. He'd let the kick out be taken. He had waved the protests of St. Colmcille away, and then all of a sudden we saw him reaching for his earpiece. Somebody stepped in, either a linesman or an umpire, to say you've got a decision to make, and Patrick O'Malley has been black carded. Well, you really couldn't make that up. I think it's called a delayed reaction, but Tony Butler, now what happens? The Westport goalie black carded, and St. Colmcille have a penalty, a lifeline, with 5 minutes to go.
Absolutely. Now Jack Reynolds is at their getting on the ball. Jack is a very accomplished player in both soccer and Gaelic. He has turned down, he had a soccer scholarship in Trinity College, turned it down to play Gaelic for Colmcille. He will stick this down into the bottom corner. I've every confidence in him. Now, to be fair, I thought Robbie McCluskey might have bought that penalty. I feel so sorry for that goalkeeper. The ball was way gone. and Robbie jumped in, and he bought the penalty, and I hope that's just the way games can turn on refereeing decisions here. That the referee got it wrong with the Lee Keegan one. That went against us. I thought that one went for us. Now, I see there's 5 minutes left. There's going to be a lot of injury time. It's all to play for, but this one has to be put away. Jack, hold your nerve. Stick that down the corner.
Paul Grady, talk to me about Aaron Dunn. He's just been called in, David Clark style, to face a penalty with 4 minutes to go in an All-Ireland final. This is the stuff of which dreams are made. If he can save it, if it goes in, game on.
Yeah, possibly goalkeepers don't dream of this kind of situation. They dream of saving a penalty when maybe they're on the pitch a bit longer than this. But Aaron, very good club player all through. He played a lot of club football outfield for Westport underage, and this is his big chance to...
He hasn't played a single championship minute on this run. It's Colmcille's Jack Reynolds against Aaron Dunn. Goal! 3.5 minutes of normal time to go, and this AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club final is giving us the grandstand finish. Westport 2-12, St Colmcille 3-6. The Meath champions are back to within 3, and we are in for a nail-biting last few minutes. That is some mark by Fionn McDonagh. Come at the hour and all of that. Dunn fires it out on top of McDonagh, and he claims the mark. Textbook penalty by the Colmcille sub Jack Reynolds. McLaughlin jersey tugged by the corner back. Adam Lynch is already on a yellow. Referee plays the advantage. No advantage accrues. It's going to be brought back for a free. And now, if Niall Cullen sees that as a yellow card offence, Adam Lynch is in trouble. But it looks like he's going to be happy enough to give the free. But Jack Reynolds held his nerve. Not long on the field, Tony. Tucked it away.
Absolutely, had immense confidence in him, and I did predict he'd go low into the corner because I've seen him do that on more than one occasion. Great asset, great pace, but we 3 points behind. Now we need this lad. Westport left a lot of scores behind him in the second half. I reckon that was tiredness kicking into these young lads, and as Colmcille were just hoping that this one will go wide. So
it's Fionn McDonagh. He delivered his finest hour so far in the county final win over Kilchama. This is very, very important, and McDonagh never got hold of it at all. Pushes it across the goal and wide, and another one gets away.
You're going to need all our experience now out in the middle of the field. You're going to need your Lee Keegans, your Shane Scotts, Brian McDermott's, these fellas to stand up now in the last few minutes. We're still in a good position, 3 points up. It's ours to win if we can just hold on to the ball, a bit of composure in front of the posts.
58 minutes gone and counting. 90 seconds of normal time to play. Colmcille's in search of a goal to level it, or points to pare back the deficit. Here's Kieran Kelly. Fires it back to Ian Mullen. We haven't been told just yet how much stoppage time we'll have. It's all hands on deck now for Westport as they try and hold what they have. Back there to cover is the captain, Brian McDermott. Remember, Westport without the services of Kevin Kane since the 4th or 5th minute when he was injured. He's down underneath us, I'd imagine, in the lower Hogan, watching on, if he can bear to watch, as St Colmcille's give away a free on the far side. We're into the final minute of normal time. Westport 3 in front. The Holy Grail within touching distance. But against a team from Meath of all places, Paul Grady, it's never over till it's over.
They're never beaten, unfortunately. You'd like them to lie down now and accept defeat, but they don't look like they're going to do that.
All eyes on the 4th official. He's waiting on word from the referee, Niall Cullen. We're into the last 30 seconds of normal time now, and that's a foul on a Westport player over on the far side. This is going to mean a stoppage, as it looks like the entire Westport Order of Malta Brigade are heading in to attend. I think this is what they call in the business running down the clock, Paul.
Yeah, there's no one left in Westport to attend to anyway, so they can all go out there now. There's no problem. Just keep it tight now. Normal time up, thank God. Hopefully another couple of minutes will do us.
I see Tom Higgins, the Westport selector, was in there to check on the welfare of his player as well. Former goalkeeper with the club. Passionate Westport GA man. He is Damien Loftus' right-hand man, Michael Killeen his left-hand man, and they're all present and correct as Shane Scott lines up this free. Have St. Colmcille's got one kick left. We're into injury time. Now the fourth official makes his move. Shane Scott drops in the ball. We're going to have at least 6 minutes of additional time. Phil Keegan has it, trying to use those dancing feet, gets the shot in. It drops away to the left and wide. St. Colmcille's have 5 minutes, Tony Butler, to save the day.
Well, that's it. Hopefully we can win this kick out. Like hits along. Dave Sheeran's the man you want underneath it.
Yeah, Jordan Brown goes long. It's no time for taking chances. Ball breaks to McCloskey. The veteran midfielder lets it go long in towards Jack Reynolds. Niall Cullen, the referee, lets it develop. Back to cover for Westport is Keelan Dever. His dad, Conor Dever, of course, a Westport selector as well. Former county footballer with Mayo. Lee Keegan, current county footballer with Mayo. Head down and drives on the only way Keegan knows. Pops it inside to McManaman. There's a man over. Looks like it's Fionn McDonough. It's Phil Keegan, in fact. We're into the second minute of stoppage time. Keegan drops it in. I think he was trying to set Niall McManaman in around the back, but the corner back had run a long way upfield. He just hadn't the legs. He wasn't thinking as far ahead as Keegan was, and that goes out over the line for possession back to Colmcille's. Well, Colmcille's needed a replay to beat Dundee in the Meath County final. They had to grind their way to this All-Ireland final, and they're not giving up without a fight. Still just one kick of the ball between the teams. Ball work down the Hogan stand side as far as Conor O'Byrne. Colm Moran is back defending. Phil Keegan is back defending. Westport have built a wall across their own 45. Keegan gets in. Keegan makes the challenge. He's given away the free and he's on a yellow, remember. And Niall Cullen's body language would suggest he wants to show a card. Now, Lee Keegan was initially called over. The referee now, in fact, is going looking for somebody else. It's Keelan Dever. Well, bottom line is Colmcille's have a free in. It looked like Lee Keegan initially it was who had committed the foul, but Keelan Dever, in fact, was the man fingered by the referee. Yellow for Dever for his part in the challenge. Another change for Colmcille's. They're taking out Cathal Hilliard and they're bringing in Niall Ronan. Well, he's been treated on the line for quite a while for that head injury. He's also changed his jersey. He'll wear 31. Here's Jack Reynolds. We're into the 4th minute of stoppage time. Chance for Ronan. Blocked by Phil Keegan. Falls to Owen Woods. And the wing back drills it high and over the bar. The former Meath miner pops up in the right place at the right time. Now we've got a 2-point game. And we've got 2 minutes or thereabouts to go. 2 minutes of additional time to play. Westport are not making it easy on themselves, Paul Grady.
Haven't done it all year, Mike. I suppose we shouldn't expect anything less. It's looking like Innis all over again, to be honest, but hopefully same result.
Niall McManaman, Westport Footballer of the Year in 2016, to Shane Scott. Surely in the running for man of the match. Brings it into the tackle, and Niall Ronan stands his ground as always, and away go Colmcille's. Lovely ball from Conlon to give it to Ben Brennan. Brennan winds, shoots, it's over. It was almost inevitable that Colmcille's, the Meath champions, would come back from the brink. Like every great Meath team, they're never over, they're never finished until the final whistle sounds. Now we've got 70 seconds or thereabouts to play, and Colmcille's are back to within 1. The comeback is nearly complete.
Well, absolutely. Yes, Miser has won it. The 37-year-old Miser has just won that ball. Now, Ben, get on it. You're causing trouble.
Ian Mullen with a super take, but they've given the ball away after working so hard to get it back. Possession is now the most precious commodity of them all. Keegan fires it out to Colmcille. 40 seconds to play. Colmcille can't get room to swing the Kitog. Free out for overcarrying. Colmcille's defence knew he was going to turn onto that left foot, and they forced him down a blind alley. Good defending. Have the Meath champions got one kick left in them? Remember, it will go to extra time if they can't be separated. You're watching the AIB All-Ireland Intermediate Club Football Final. Colmcille and Westport. Will we have a winner? It's James Conlon who shoots. Pushed away by Dunn and grabbed by Brian O'Malley. It's all over. Westport are the All-Ireland champions, and Mayo's famine at Croke Park is over. After years of near misses and disappointments in All-Ireland club finals, Westport join Crossmolina and Ballina-Stephenites as teams that have came, seen and conquered on All-Ireland club final day. St. Colmcille of Meath are flat on their backs and broken hearted. They played their part in a terrific game, and they came with a flying finish and very nearly caught Westport at the death. But the Mayo champions get it done by the minimum of margins. Westport celebrate their All-Ireland champions tonight.
Well done, Mike. Well done, Tony. Heartbroken, I know. St. Colmcille put up some comeback. Paul Grady gets a shake of the hands here from Paddy O'Rourke. I'll go to you first, Paul, because you're winners. You're winners, though. Let you not forget your winners.
That is what we came for. We pulled it off. Great for Westport, great for Mayo. 3 club teams came up here last year, junior, intermediate and senior, all beaten. We're finally bringing one home.
Yes, it was a sensational finish, Paddy O'Rourke. St. Colmcille just dug it out and dug it out. They got a break, it must be said, a goalkeeping error. But from there, and Jack Reynolds took it beautifully, from there they just drove on and on and on, and Westport seemed to lose their composure.
Yeah, we talked about it at half time that, you know, some of these lads, this is the first time they've ever been in this position, and the nerves might creep in, and when you're in front you think, let's sit back, let's defend, let's mind the lead instead of kicking on. And I suppose in the situation for the penalty, you know, when a referee misses an instant at the next break in play, the linesman kind of called to his attention that he's missed the decision, so that's where the penalty came from.
You saw the linesman making the move as well, I believe, did you?
Yeah, the linesman and one of the umpires would be all in connection with the referee on a mic, an earpiece and a mic, and they called to his attention that he had missed the situation. The goalkeeper came out, let the ball go out for a wide ball, but then clipped the heels of the Colmcille's attacker. So it was the right call. The referee should have seen it himself. He was only 10 yards away, but the right call was made, and Colmcille stuck it away. But there's no getting away from the fact that the best team out there today won. You know, that they scored what? They scored 14 times to Colmcille's only scored 11 or 12 times. You know, it's one for the Mayo fans to bring home across to Shannon.
Well, take me to Clare Island, the home of Grania Whale out in Clew Bay, Paul. And you're right at the end of Clew Bay, the capital of Clew Bay. What does it mean for Westport Club? You're a club who are very progressive, great underage, new clubhouse facilities. You've even got a bursary scheme, the first of its kind for your teenage players. This is an enormous breakthrough. We've been saying this all year. Everything has been a breakthrough for Westport this year.
Yeah, and in fairness, local streaming will be with us every step of the way. You know, we have a bursary scheme this year, as you mentioned, and we have 4 or 5 minors out there this year, and a couple of lads just out of minor, and more coming behind them. And this is all the hard work from underage all the way through. It's coming to fruition now. There you have it. Westport, All-Ireland champions. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, they're making their way to the steps. I don't see Kevin Kane. I'm not sure. There's Kevin Kane on crutches. We have Kevin Kane on crutches, a man who would dearly love to have been there, I've no doubt, but he's making his way. How he's going to make it under health and safety up the steps, I don't know, but I wouldn't like to stop him either.
I don't know who's going to stop him.
And for Lee Keegan, of course, Footballer of the Year last year, 4-time All-Star, has seen a lot of heartbreak here as well.
Absolutely, and I've spoken to Lee and Kevin about this. So after the county final win. I was making a point of very happy for those guys who had come out of Croke Park and such disappointment the last few years. And the measure of the men they will always say to you, they're happier for the guys, the club guys, the guys that are training all year.
Yeah, and that's what this club has done to get here. We're waiting on the captain, Brian McDermott, to get up. He's there, actually. He is there. We will try and shoot it down through our restricted view here. The Colmcille players on the field. And what a finish to what has been a really exciting weekend of action here in Croke Park this weekend. We had Mayfield yesterday. We had Carrickshock yesterday. We had Glenbeigh, Glencar today. And now we have Westport lifting the Intermediate Cup. And they made it exciting. It wasn't meant to be exciting, but 10 minutes to go, Paddy. Great value in Mayo at times, isn't there, for a bit of excitement?
Yeah, they make it hard on themselves now, is one way of putting it. I think, especially with the last ball dropping in around the square there, just a little bit of inexperience from James Conlon. He had time and space to bring it in a little bit further and clip it over, but look, that's the swings and the roundabouts of it. The best team on the day won. It's what it's all about there now. The pictures down on pitch side, the Colmcille's team lined up in front of their fans, playing in Croke Park with your friends that you've grown up with and gone to school with. It's a massive occasion for everyone. And
yes, we've Tony Butler in from Colmcille as well. We'll get to you in a second, Tony. We want to try and catch the presentation. Brian McDermott, the Westport captain. There it is. They've won the FAI Junior Cup in the past in Westport United, and now they have won the All-Ireland Intermediate title. And Paul and I have been at a lot of Westport games, both local streaming wise and just as supporters as well. And it's fair to say, Paul, they struggled through a few games, found it hard to score, but they pulled off a big one today. Nearly let it slip, but a big score and some great performances.
Yeah, I think you possibly have to agree yourself. We've came a long way since the long grass in Ballarobe last November.
That made a job of you, Paul.
Absolutely, yeah. That was great winter training. If they're going to overcome that, replay with Shrulgan Corrib, 6 games in 5 weeks to win a county title, 3 games in a week to culminate that county championship.
The whole world was against you, Paul.
Absolutely. Today you lose Kevin Kane after 10 minutes, Paddy O'Malley 5 minutes ago. We've made it hard for ourselves all the way, but nobody has been able to beat us.
Absolutely, Paul. Well said. A great character, Paul Grady. A great supporter of local streaming all through the year. I'm going to try and catch some of Brian's speech. 3 cheers for Colmcille, who still stand arranged on the sideline, on the pitch.
If the dream to play on Croke Park and the pitch keeps disappointing, that's not down to anything but hard work, so a big cheers for them.
Expressing gratitude for being on Croke Park today. The men that brought this to us, he says about the men. And 3 cheers for the boys, he says. And Brian still going through his speech. And Tony, you got a late lifeline there and nearly got there, had the chances, played magnificently once he got the smell of it.
Absolutely, that's what I say. Colmcille's Meath team, they never give it up. And if you think of the last play in the game, I think it was James Conlon was going for a point. It dropped under the crossbar. We had a Meath minor in Conor O'Byrne, a big strapping lad underneath the ball. And fair play to the Westport sub keeper. He came, he got his hand to the ball. But that was the smallest margin. That could have gone into the back of the net and we could have something different. But on behalf of Colmcille, I'd like to congratulate Westport. They're a terrific team, terrific players. They had a great shape to them. They were very hard to break down. A good game plan. Lots of players in the appropriate positions. Plenty of speed. Young man in the middle of the pitch caught some great ball and scored some lovely points. So, and I tell you, this is a fantastic occasion. 10,000 people at an intermediate final and junior final, served up 2 great games. Great compliment to Sean Kelly all those years ago, opening it up. I think it's a great thing.
Yes, indeed, Tony. Just 1 second, Tony. So I think Brian's speech is done. He's calling up the players to lift it coming up, and they'll all enjoy this moment. I'm sure there'll be a special cheer for Lee Keegan, their Footballer of the Year. They're going through there. James Welch, Liam Stanton, Fionn McDonough, Mayo under 21 prospect this year, no doubt. Kevin Kane on crutches, played here in minor finals, senior finals. There he is, big cheer for Kevin. A real stalwart of the Westport club, Kevin Kane. Let's hope his injury is not too bad. We had a lot of injuries in Croke Park today. Let's hope all players. Who's that number 31, Paul?
Gary Kane, Kevin's brother.
Gary's Kevin's brother indeed. Alan Kennedy, Phil Keegan, and I think Oisin McLaughlin, is it?
Yeah.
2-goal hero today, Oisin McLaughlin.
Absolutely, Oisin. Stuff dreams are made of. Come to Croke Park. Made his debut in the semi-final and comes to Croke Park and sticks away 2 goals.
Colin Morden and Paul Lambert, 2 great young men today as well. Morden won some incredible ball inside.
A double act from Mahagowar, those 2 lads. Have to admire them.
All politics is local.
Seamus and Charlie, 2 proud men tonight.
Yes, indeed. Seamus Morden and Charlie Lambert. Young Niall McMenamin, he has been magnificent as well for Westport all year. Patrick O'Malley, big cheer for him. He had a few nervous moments near the end there, but all's well that ends well for Westport. I didn't see Lee Keegan going through yet. Yes, I see him coming up there now. Brian O'Malley there in the sub-keeper. He was pressed into action unexpectedly. Aaron Dunn, he kicked one beautiful kick out here in front of the goal, in front of the stand. And is that Tom Reynolds, I think?
Famous Tom Reynolds.
Famous TR, and there's Lee Keegan. Lee Keegan. And in Mayo, they don't come much more popular than Lee Keegan. And 28 is Conor Clark. And there's Shane Scott. And didn't he play some football today?
Fantastic. Shane Scott, absolutely outstanding here today and in the semi-final against Kenmare. What a player.
Kevin Kane has made it down onto the field again. I don't see the manager, Damien Loftus, there now. The St. Colmcille players still consoling themselves. They know they got within a whisker of it, and as Paddy said, they probably were slightly second fiddle for most of the game, but what matters is the final whistle, and they were nearly there. And Paddy, if they came and won it, it would have gone down as a famous victory. Against the odds for most of the game, came with a great burst, capitalised on the chance they got, nearly got there.
Exactly, it would have nearly been a smash and grab, from the position they were in at half time, but the 2 points just before half time to bring it from an 8-point gap to a 6-point gap made it a doable task in the second half, and it came right down to the last kick of the ball, and that's what happens in them sort of games. Another day it would have went over the bar and we'd be watching extra time, but it dropped short, and the goalkeeper, the sub goalie, came in. He didn't have much to do, only picked the ball out of net from the penalty, but he got a hand to it, got the danger away from his goals, and the referee blew it up. And I suppose that the Colmcille players have so much to be proud of. That they've come from winning their intermediate to winning a Leinster to being in an All-Ireland final. There will be heartbreak on the way home, but they've given their supporters so much to cheer about over the last 4 or 5 months, and now their thoughts and attentions will turn to maintaining their senior status now.
Okay, Paddy, thank you very much. And I'm going to call in Mike Finnerty here for a second, our match commentator as well. Tony and Paddy, we'll let you go. Thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for all you brought to our coverage today. Paddy O'Rourke from AIB, and Tony, a final word from you from Colmcille.
We're going to regroup. We're in the senior championships next year. We'll regroup, and the last thing I'd just like to say, congratulations to Westport, and the credit to the club themselves, the Mayo GAA, and we wish them the best in their senior ranks. Hope that Kevin Keane is okay. Hope it's not a senior injury, and the best of luck to those kids doing their leaving cert this year. Take care.
Thanks very much, Tony. Very sporting words to finish what has been a very sporting year. And Lee Keegan is down there, Paul, with his father.
Yeah, great to see. Absolutely fantastic. That's what it's all about. And I'm looking down there, I see Damien Loftus and Tom Higgins, Conor Dever, great stalwart of the club, Mick Killeen. Huge credit to those lads. They took that team from very disappointing defeat to Belmullet last year in a quarter-final all the way to All-Ireland champions. So massive credit to them, the shape those lads are in and how well they were prepared. And just on behalf of the club as well, just to thank everybody who helped us out in any way during the year. Fundraising in the last few weeks has been tremendous.
Their Colmcilles make their way off as well, and they're getting a very appreciative round of applause from the Westport fans as well, it must be said. It has been a weekend of great sportsmanship here, and that does not mean the games lacked intensity. Far from it. We had 3 really epic collisions, you'd have to say. The hurling intermediate final yesterday was one-sided between Carrick Shock and Haskell Fohana, but today we had 2 wonderful games of football, And I suppose, Mike Finnerty, it is fair to say that as a Mayo-based service, we do enjoy the advantage of knowing Westport better and having covered more of their games this year. It's been a privilege to work with Tony from Colmcille and all their side today, and Paddy O'Rourke from Meath. But for the Mayo Club, Mike, for Westport, a huge day.
Oh, huge day, Liam, and you can just see how much it means to them down there. I've been lucky enough to follow their fortunes right from the start of the Mayo Club Championship in the day job, and I've got to talk to a lot of their players and meet a lot of their players during the course of that run, and you know, you just have to spend a bit of time in their company to realise just how much it means to them to represent their club and their town. And you know, for those people who may not be familiar with Westport, it's a huge sporting town, and for years and years the GA club in Westport would have played second and maybe even third fiddle as well to the local soccer club and the local rugby club. But over the last 5 or 6 years in particular, there have been an awful lot of people in Westport working extremely hard to develop their facilities, which are now second to none in Connacht, not to mind Mayo. They have a state-of-the-art AstroTurf, state-of-the-art clubhouse and dressing rooms. Their underage structure has been revolutionised in the last 5-6 years. They now are winning County A championships from under 14 right through to minor, and you can see the fruits of that labour paying off today. 5 leaving certs start in today's team. They've won their second intermediate club championship in Mayo in 8 seasons. They've won their first Connacht, their first All-Ireland today, and this is going to be huge for Westport into the future, because it's going to inspire another generation of Lee Keegans and Kevin Kanes. It's going to see the club go from strength to strength, and I suppose the icing on top is that we got such a great contest. You know, it lived up to expectation. It was every bit as good as we hoped it would be.
Yes, and more celebrations down there. There's another gathering of Westport people, and this is the beauty really of the championship games we played here in Croke Park. When the game is over, you can find your family. It's not the 85,000 day. That's brilliant as well, don't get me wrong, but you can find your family, Paul. You can have those very special moments, and you can see it. They don't want to leave, because in some moments these moments will have passed. There will never be a day like this again.
No, man, this is what you dream of. This is what club players dream of, and it's the beauty of club football, I suppose, as opposed to county football. These lads are all there amongst their family and friends, and you know what went on in Westport the last few weeks in terms of fundraising and everything else, everybody got behind it. There was a gang of us yesterday washing cars in Westport. We're here in Croke Park today. You know, that's club football. It's brilliant.
Did you do well?
We did very well. I wouldn't like to give you the number, but we did very well today or yesterday. You know, you didn't get a lot washed for €10, I'll put it that way. You needed to dig deep.
Yeah, but it's the thought that counts.
Absolutely, yeah. One or two asked how much, but you know, just keep filling the bucket, or it'll only be half washed.
Or we'll dirty it. Okay. So the Westport players, we had a lap of honour yesterday by Carrickshock, I think it was. They went in front of the empty hill. Westport are making their way down there as well, unless it's to get a picture below. Lee Keegan would savour the trip around the hill, empty or not. Mike.
Yeah, Liam, I just see a man down there that I think we need to dwell on for a few moments. Damien Loftus. I mean, 2 years ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago, not many people outside of Westport knew who Damien Loftus was or where he'd come from. And now I think everybody's going to know his name. He's a Dublin native, played his underage football here in Dublin with St Vincent's. Played minor hurling and football with Dublin back in 1985, and he married a Westport woman. He moved down to the area a few years ago, took on the Westport team a couple of years back when nobody really was interested in taking them on, and he's completely turned their fortunes around.
Yep, they've done the lap of honour. They're going off the far side, of course. That's it. So it's kind of it's necessity to a certain extent. Yeah, they're having a good run for themselves. And I don't know who won that sprint, but it might be the last sprint they'll do in a while, Paul.
The fitness is still showing out there. These lads could go another 20 minutes, you know.
There's a few lads straggling there now, Paul.
As you mentioned, Damien Loftus there, Mike put it very well, but what people might not realise is that Damien is also the coaching officer in the club, strength and conditioning coach around the club. He's involved at all levels in the club, and he helps out every underage team in the club. You know, fantastic club man, and huge credit to him.
Okay, and we have two very special guests. The happiest family in Westport tonight. Brothers, Lee Keegan and Phil, brother as well. Thank you first of all, lads, for joining us. And Phil, you might just stand into here if you could. You're afraid of heights. Well, you reached a new height here today, Phil. Lee, the word you said to Mike Finnerty and Paul Grady there was finally.
Finally. It's been a lot of long years of hurt, pain. It felt like that way again today, that we're going to lose at the end. I think we put a lot of work in today, and I suppose that ball went over the bar. I'm not sure how much we left in the tank after the semi-final, but listen, finally we just got one lucky break, and I think we were fully deserved winners today, even though we tried our best to lose at times. But just the scenes here now, I'm just over the moon, and I suppose it makes up for all those hard years of long slog, hurt, pain, and losing All-Irelands here in Croke Park, and finally a Mayo team's come to Croke Park and won an All-Ireland. What more can you ask for?
You have spoken very openly about how the club has grown on you, so to speak. As a young fella, you were playing a lot of rugby then, you were a very talented rugby player, but you have come to really appreciate the value of the club in your life.
Yeah, and I suppose today just shows what it's all about. The support we have here today, the man beside me, have my brother here in the squad. It's a fairy tale to me. It's a dream come true, and as I've openly said, I was never the biggest club man when I was younger, but as I said, I've grown into it, and this year has just been an absolutely amazing experience. It's just been the best journey of my life, and it's something I'm going to treasure for the rest of my days, because all Irelands are hard won, and you only win one, you have to enjoy that success, and believe me, we'll enjoy. Westport will be a busy week this weekend, yeah, so there might be too many in work, but the pubs will be busy.
Phil, congratulations. You've had a very impressive year for the club as well, doing a lot of often unspectacular work, keeping the wheels turning. Yeah. I'm sure you really appreciate what's after happening here.
It's brilliant. I must admit now, I never thought I'd be in a Croke Park in the final, and to be here at Lee, it's been taking me a few years to come back into Gaelic. Soccer is my first love, but I knew this group was different. As soon as I came back, I've trained for a few years with the guys, but I just knew this year was different. There's a different vibe. The lads are just so committed. We put in so much effort, and it's just shown there today. I know at times we get a bit excited, we miss chances, but we always go to the end, and it's a credit to the team, and for the likes of Lee and Kevin, they deserve this. They've given so much to this club, and it's just so nice to win one for them. So fantastic day. Can't put into words, just fantastic.
Yes, today you had probably the relatively rare experience of leading a team out, building up a big lead, but what has been a characteristic of your play all year is you keep going. I mean, against Kilmare you didn't lead at all, so you've won it both ways. As everybody has said, you did your best to lose it today, but what's the point of winning without a bit of drama?
Exactly. It's never worse for a game without a bit of excitement. Listen, we're in half time. We knew these were a tough team. Colmcille are a battle-hardened team like us. I think it's the first game this year we probably come in as favourites. It's the first game since the first round against Ireland we've actually conceded a goal from open play. So we conceded a goal, but you can see straight away. Oisin McLaughlin, young lads, stepped up, got the goal, kept their head. A few silly mistakes, and like I said, a bit of excitement in the end. But sure, listen. What's the point with having a game without a bit of excitement? So listen, it makes that much sweeter, but we just keep going. The fitness level of these lads is insane. The lads who stepped up, Davy Horan came on, fantastic. Ronan Garrett, we have strength and depth, so fantastic. Just keep going to the very end.
Given your background in the famous red and black of Westport United as well, not getting back. Westport won the Junior Cup. Now we've won the intermediate title. You're well positioned to, I suppose, describe what that means.
It's unbelievable. As I said to this guy this year, this meant this being filmed. I better not say more than soccer.
Please no.
Equally as much.
Soccer is a big part of Westport. Don't be shy about it at all.
I might be getting fired. Listen, it's unbelievable. Like I said, the effort to put in. It's been a long year for me. I've won a lot with soccer, but it just means so much for Westport. The first time to be here and to win one is just this is the pinnacle now. So I said, I never thought I'd be in Croke Park kicking over the bar. If I could shoot a bit better, I might go 1 or 2 more. But listen, it's fantastic. I love soccer, but there might be another year in Gaelic yet. You never know.
They're not going to let you go.
No, maybe not.
Lee, I'd like to ask about the young players. 5 leaving certs, kids really, coming of age right throughout this year. Ball winners, Oisin McLaughlin taking players on there today. What do you think of them?
Kids with big balls. That's what they are like. I think Phil mentioned Oisin in the first half. It can be very easy for a young man to come to Croke Park and not freeze, but just try and do something different. He just stuck to his game plan. Colm stuck to his game plan. Lambie, these lads, they've no fear at all. And I said during the whole year, they just rejuvenate us older lads that have been there for a long time. And they just really gives a spring in their step. And the way they finished the game today is just, Colm Warren fighting for ball in here, and lads, even Brian O'Malley in the full back line today was absolutely outstanding. They came in with no fear at all, and that's been probably our cog all year. These lads coming in and just really giving us that incentive to go on and win games. And they don't know how to lose games. That's the problem. Their mentality is about winning, and we grinded out the semi-final, and today was equally as hard. And when it came to the crunch, then it's the young lads that stood up, not the other lads. So going forward for senior, this is huge for us, because they've got a flavour now of what it means to win the big time now, and we're going forward now. And listen, we're not just there to compete in senior there, we're there to do well, we're there to progress as a team and learn, and we're going up against big guns now, and we need to get that quick, and today is just a stepping stone. And as I said, hopefully the bucko here might give up the soccer for another few months to play with us, but listen, the key is we enjoy success, and this will be enjoyed because, as I mentioned, we've had a lot of Mayo teams come up here over the last number of years, and unfortunately I've been on a few of them, and I suppose just been pipped at the end. And today, if that ball stayed low the bar, it could have been another, I suppose, hard luck story for myself personally and for another Mayo team. But again, you have to make your own luck when you come up to here, and today we did, thankfully.
Can I ask you about a man who's embodied the spirit of Westport for many years, Kevin Kane, your sparring partner, your travelling partner? He's been at your side for so long. First of all, at a personal level, have you any word on how he is? And then secondly, losing your leader, one of your leaders, a huge blow early on.
Yeah, prognosis, we're not sure at the moment. We know it's knee anyway, so I'm sure he'll have a scan now, maybe today or tomorrow, depending on how.
Will he have it today, I'd say, will he?
It might be next week, but it doesn't look too good for himself personally, but to lose someone like Kevin, he's probably one of our best players all year, and he was recognised as player of the year for Intermediate Mayo, so it just shows the man and the manner he got in at half time, and he just said, listen, it's not about me, it's about you now, and that's a huge incentive going forward. And that's just this kind of leadership Kevin has, and we've sold it through many years together now, from underage up to senior Westport, senior Mayo, and if anyone deserves more, it's that man right there, because he puts his heart and soul into Westport, and he's I suppose the Kane family have a pride tradition within Westport, and just for their whole family it just means so much to them. And you've seen the scenes with Kevin then, trying to stop him crying is a different story. Usually can't get a tear of him all year, but when he wins something he goes on a bit of a baby roll, so we'll have to give him a doty for the way home, but listen, but honestly, he's my best friend, and we've grown up together, and just see him finally get his hands on that trophy means more than anything in the world. See how happy he is, and as I said, hope the injury's not as bad as it is, but we'll take care of that maybe another time. So
okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. Paul,
just also to mention Lewis Cawley and Liam Kittrick in that as well. 2 men have played a huge part in this campaign. Unfortunately missed out in the big day, but they certainly played their part.
Okay, gentlemen, Lee, congratulations, thank you very much. Okay, Phil, thank you very much for joining us. And two happy men, Westport, the All-Ireland Intermediate Football Champions.